All right, step into the briefing room. For decades, we've all been squinting through the static trying to make sense of blurry radar blips. Today, we're finally cracking open the official case files on the US government's disclosures regarding anomalies in our skies. We're going to separate the hard evidence from the sci-fi fantasies. Welcome to this investigation.
The big question on the board here is, are we alone or just really confused? That's the central mystery we're tackling today. For the longest time, unidentified flying objects fueled the absolute wildest imaginations, right? Endless speculation about extraterrestrial visitation. But as investigators looking at the raw data, we have to ask ourselves, are these phenomena truly material for a sci-fi blockbuster? Or are we simply looking at highly complex cases of misidentification?
Okay, let's dive into this briefing. We'll start by opening the case files, then map out a timeline of disclosure, identify the usual suspects, dig into the unresolved cold cases, and finally, address the extraterrestrial question. Let's get to work.
Section 1. Opening the case files and shifting from the term UFO to UAP.
Now, to solve any case, you really need to understand the crime scene. The government used to just turn a blind eye, but recently, they've completely broadened the dragnet. The official term now is UAP, Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. Now, what's really interesting about this is we aren't just looking at the clouds anymore. We are tracking objects detected in the air, out in the vacuum of space, deep at sea, or even moving fluidly between these domains. The military calls this transmedium travel. It's a way bigger, far more complex operational theater than just flying objects.
Section 2. A timeline of disclosure. Let's follow the evidence.
So what exactly forced the government's hand here? Witnesses, highly trained military pilots, started coming forward with advanced sensor data that just couldn't be ignored anymore. In 2020, the Pentagon officially declassified 3 famous infrared videos. You know them: FLIR, Go Fast, and Gimbal. By 2022, Congress stepped in and mandated the creation of AARO, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, to apply a rigorous scientific framework to all this. Fast forward to 2024, AARO dropped a massive historical record report, and then we hit the absolute motherlode in May 2026.
Enter the 2026 Pursue Directive, the Presidential Unsealing and Reporting System for UAP Encounters. This was a presidential order demanding maximum transparency, and it systematically unsealed thousands of modern and historical UAP files. We're talking about a literal flood of intelligence hitting the public domain overnight. Military videos, deep vault FBI records, internal State Department cables. The evidence locker was suddenly thrown wide open for all of us to see.
Section 3. Identifying the usual suspects. Let's look at the government's explanations. When the intelligence community actually manages to get hard telemetry, here is the lineup of everyday culprits they find. The Department of Defense drops their resolved cases right into these specific buckets. First up, airborne clutter. And yeah, believe it or not, multi-million-dollar military radar is routinely foiled by stray Mylar party balloons and plastic grocery bags. Then you've got your standard weather balloons, fast-moving drones lacking proper lights, basic sensor anomalies, and even celestial objects like Venus or meteors that just play tricks on the eyes.
Let's zoom in on those optical illusions for a second, specifically an effect called parallax. This happens when a fast-flying jet observes a relatively slow-moving object. And this brilliantly illustrates that sometimes our suspect isn't a maneuvering craft at all. A high-speed observer makes a stationary object look like it's completely defying the laws of aerodynamics. So, unreliable witnesses aren't always human, right? Sometimes it's literally just the physics of the lens playing a trick on us.
Section 4. The unresolved cold cases. This is exactly where the trail goes cold. Now, despite AARO's rigorous scientific dragnet, a fraction of these reports remain stubbornly unresolved. Thanks to those 2026 PURSU declassifications, we finally got a good look at these true cold cases. The files contain some wild stuff: raw drone footage, incredibly tense pilot audio transcripts, striking eyewitness accounts of glowing orbs, and reports tracking highly maneuverable objects. This right here is the raw data of the unknown.
But we really have to look at the data requirements for actually solving one of these cases. For a case to be officially resolved, it requires abundant sensor telemetry. We're talking corroborated radar, infrared, and optical data all lining up. An unresolved case, on the other hand, is generally characterized by a lack of data, a sensor failure, or just an inability to get a solid lock on the target. So the crucial point is this: an unresolved case does absolutely not mean the object is supernatural or alien. It simply means our technological dragnet failed to catch enough high-fidelity telemetry to scientifically prove what it was.
Section 5. The extraterrestrial question. It's time to deliver the verdict.
All right, that forces us to address the elephant in the interrogation room. With all these unsealed files, is there any actual proof of something from another world? The official stance from the Department of Defense and AARO is definitive and unequivocal. I'm going to read it straight from the record. The U.S. government has found no verifiable evidence of extraterrestrial technology, nor has it found any evidence of alien life. Period. That is the official, scientifically evaluated conclusion.
Furthermore, AARO methodically investigated all those persistent conspiracy theories regarding highly classified defense programs. Their 2024 historical record report concluded that there is absolutely no empirical proof that the United States has been hiding or reverse engineering off-world spacecraft at any point since 1945. So that whole hidden spaceship theory, officially debunked.
So you might be wondering, what is the real motive behind suddenly releasing millions of pages of documents and videos? Well, it's demystification. The government wants to completely rebuild its operational culture. They want to remove the stigma that used to literally ruin careers so military personnel can safely and accurately report anomalies in the sky without any fear of ridicule. Let's see how this builds a better system, because the ultimate goal here is better data, not better science fiction.
As we go to close the case file on this explainer, the official data points us toward a pretty clear conclusion. The skies are absolutely full of highly complex, unusual phenomena. But the true culprits, they lie in the realms of advanced human technology, the totally chaotic world of atmospheric science, and the strict limitations of our own sensors. It's an earthly mystery, guys, not a cosmic one.
But that leaves us with one final, incredibly provocative question. If the answers really are just advanced human technology and natural science, what else is hiding in plain sight in our own skies? I mean, what highly classified human engineering or totally undocumented natural phenomena are we still completely failing to recognize? The truth is definitely up there, and the investigation is far from over. Keep your eyes open and stay curious.